Hi everybody, my name's Jake. This is Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're going to take a look at a very shiny, colorful knife made by Harnds, a company out of China. This is the Pandora. So if you're ready to open Pandora's box and see what's inside, stick around. We'll put the camera in the tabletop position and we'll look at all the details about this knife. We've got a nice small EDC style knife, 3-inch blade, at least that's what the cutting edge is, 7.5 centimeters, 3 inches. The whole thing when it's open is about 7 inches long, which is about 18 centimeters. That means the handle's right around 4 inches. It weighs 94 grams, which is 3.5 ounces. It's got 8 CR14 MOV steel on the blade and 3 CR13 steel for the rest of the handle and pocket clip. As you can see, it's the Pandora with 8 CR14, and the colors on it are just, very spectacular and rainbowy. I don't know how well my camera is going to pick up all the variations. In person, it looks a whole lot sharper than it looks on the screen, especially if my camera stays focused. There we go. It's just a very shiny, colorful knife that I think there's a lot of people that would really like this knife. I think it's one of those knives that's going to be a love-hate kind of proposition. A lot of guys are going to say, no way, that thing looks way too feminine for me. I look at it and say, I'm not sure if it looks all that feminine. I wonder if it looks more like a, gentleman's knife of sorts. Instead of that very crisp, clean black or gray elegance of, a monotone kind of subtle knife of this kinds of dimensions, this rainbowy thing kind of looks like it's a gentleman's knife because of all the different colors. I think when you pull this knife out in public, it's not going to be causing a fear factor with people in public. It might because of the shape, but the general look of the knife makes it look much more like something that's a piece of art, pretty much. I liked it so much, I bought a second one. The first one was given to me by Harnds. I paid for shipping to get it to here, and I liked it so much I bought a second one to give away, and it's a very nice little EDC style knife. We've got a thin blade, hollow grind, nice edge from the factory, a thin handle. It's a narrow handle as well. Pocket clip that's tip down carry but quite deep carry, and it holds quite well in the pocket even though it's very smooth and shiny. We've got an open pillar construction, and let's focus this if we can. All right, now we're focused. You can see those pillars have a little 3D kind of element to them. They're routed a little thinner in the middle. Everything's anodized on here the same way, so it all looks uniform and together. They used a flame anodization method where they heat it up with some kind of torch, a propane torch, a oxyacetylene torch, a MAP gas torch, whatever it was, and they heated it up and did the anodization when this was finished and all together. It's a decent looking knife. It's small, it's light, being less than 3.5 ounces, very comfortable in the hand. Any kind of grip feels quite good in this with this knife. Even with this big pocket clip on the side here, you can deploy the blade with your left hand if you want to. It works for me just fine, and it most certainly deploys with the right hand as well. It's a knife that's very functional. It works really well for the way it's designed. No problems at all to report. It feels good in the hand. It looks good. It's just a well-made entry-level kind of knife that has this very unique kind of rainbow anodization look to it. You got a lanyard hole that's big enough for any kind of paracord. It's easy to clean because of the open pillar construction. Let's see if we can see where the lockup is. It's just about halfway across right now, across the blade. It's a nice thick frame lock here, so it really provides a lot of security with the lockup. The hollow grind allows it to cut really well. They did a decent job sharpening it. Let's take a look at how well it cuts. Here's some paracord. We'll double it up, and we'll see how good it cuts on paracord. And it just zips through that stuff. No problem at all. Really good paracord. And just so that you see, it is proper paracord. It is full of the regular insides that it's supposed to have. Let's see how well it cuts. Just some 1-inch banding. Some nice banding to make your own molly if you want. You just slip through that, no problem at all. And then a slicing cut cuts through that very, very easily. It's a good knife. It cuts quite well. And here's a flyer. Little catch there, not much. There you go. So you can see that push cut does a good job. Trying to push along the same spot of the blade the whole way across. That helps you to see how well it cuts. So it's nothing super spectacular, but this is the edge after I've used it for a few weeks, and the edge is still in quite crisp shape. A cutting test really doesn't tell you that much at all about a knife. It tells you how well it cut right then. How well a knife cuts in a test, in front of the camera here really doesn't tell you that much about how good the knife is, because you should sharpen it yourself. If you're a knife guy, you probably know how to sharpen a knife. This edge is the original from the factory after I've done all my testing, after I've used it, and I haven't touched it up. I like to show you how well it cuts, at the end of all my testing without doing anything to the blade, because that gives you a little bit of an idea of the longevity of the edge. But it's a good looking knife. It's not something I'd take into the woods. I wouldn't take this camping with me. But, I might not even EDC this on my, just going into town to go shopping or something. This is the kind of knife I might use on a special occasion. I really do think it's a gentleman's kind of knife. And, I like it quite a bit. The shape of it's good. Looks kind of special and unique. Instead of just a round hole, they've got a little, the lanyard hole is nice. You've got some nice angling here at the back. Just nice sharp lines, a whole lot of belly. Feels really good in the hand. It's smooth, it's thin, it's light, it's comfortable. I like this knife. If you're in the market for this kind of knife, please read the description below the video. I'll give you a link to get this knife from Best Buy. The price on the day that I'm making this video, I'll put it right on the screen right here, because it might change between my recording and my editing. GearBest prices change from day to day, usually just by a few cents if it changes. But GearBest, I find, is almost always the best place to get knives of Chinese, from Chinese companies. They don't always have the best price, but they usually do, and I found their customer service to be one of the best. Let me just give you a note about the customer service from Chinese companies. Their culture is different than our culture, so don't expect the same type of customer service as you get from a Western company. For instance, GearBest, if you tell them, my knife hasn't arrived, what's going on? The first thing they do is they'll ask you, well, have you checked at your post office yet? Has another friend or somebody else in the household picked it up? And that's simply because in their culture, it's pretty common for post offices to misplace something, to leave it laying in a corner or something in the package, and they won't find it until somebody goes and harasses the postmaster to get that knife from them, or the package, whatever it is. Big houses, big family units living together, somebody else might have picked up the mail and misplaced it. And so they ask you those kinds of things. And so it's a little slower to get customer service from them, but I'm finding GearBest to give you the best overall customer service. Unlike some other ones where, I've had issues, I've had lost packages, from a company like Fast Tech. And, it was 14 and 15 emails back and forth and back and forth and back and forth in their trouble ticket system, and ends up being, sorry, we can't help you, is what the end result really is. And I've had that a number of times with a number of different companies and different vendors and stuff. GearBest is the best that I've found. I'm not trying to promote them because this knife didn't come from GearBest. I got it from the factory from Harnds. Well, I did buy one of my own from GearBest. But I like GearBest enough that I've become one of their associates. And so if you use my links in the description area below, you'll still get the lowest price that they have, but I'll get a tiny commission, and that helps keep this channel going. And I thank you so much for being a subscriber. I thank you also for, liking the video, sharing the video with somebody. I wanted to let you know that having this knife channel has been a really good thing for me. It's been, 7, 8, 9, I'm right around 9 months that I've had this channel now, and it's just been great. So thanks for watching all these videos. And remember, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb. Bye now.